Hello. Well, behind me, over here, is a very large natural gas processing plant, one of the biggest of its kind. This particular facility has been putting natural gas into the pipeline and helping the residents of British Columbia and indeed the entire West Coast lower their carbon footprint by many billions of tons a year since 1957. And it would be possible, not easy, but possible to calculate exactly how many billions of tons if somebody wanted to challenge me on that statement. But this is a large facility, it's putting out a lot of gas, and the amount of energy it's provided since 1957 is a huge, huge carbon offset. The interesting thing is this facility started offsetting West Coast carbon production around the same time as the BC Hydro Peace River hydroelectric project started offsetting British Columbia carbon productions, and again, indeed, the entire West Coast. So that's going back a while. The reason I'm here today is because I have a pretty long-standing complaint that the industry leaders in the oil and gas and energy industries have done an exceptionally, quite frankly, piss poor job at PR for as long as they've been in existence, for as long as they've held a license to operate. They've felt themselves to be completely above any obligation for public relations and public education. So I thought I'd pitch in a little bit, having spent 40 years of my life in that industry, and say this is what one of those facilities looks like. And because this facility is sitting here, because we've been investing in clean energy in British Columbia since the early 50s, I know that the Extinction Rebellion and the Gretatude doesn't want that information to be out there. That's part of the reason why I'm so less than pleased with, energy companies themselves. Because the only reason the Gretatude and the Extinction Rebellion have any power whatsoever is because, in general, nobody knows what they're talking about, including them. And they can just make up whatever they want because nobody's taken the time to talk to the general public about it. So in line with that, I read a statement online here. Well, it was about the TMX protests and the Extinction Rebellion raising their angry voices down there. And they were making statements about how the only reason that they need an oil pipeline in the first place is to provide an oil refinery because oil refineries burn that. Okay, I'm gonna give a huge benefit of the doubt here and assume the person that said that knew completely well how idiotic that was, but was just quite frankly trying to take advantage of the naivety of the public. So I'm going to stomp on that. If you've read that and you're part of the naive public, that person is lying, right? Oil refineries don't burn oil. Oil refineries, shockingly enough, refine oil. And what do they refine it into? They refine it into the stuff that makes buses work, rail lines work, airlines work, your car work, the heat for your home. Quite a multitude of things other than what the Extinction Rebellion and the Gretatude are telling you to do. This is another level beyond that. This is the natural gas industry. This is the origins of the natural gas industry. But as I was about to say, the reason we have such a great LNG picture here in British Columbia right now, since such a golden opportunity to help much larger portions of the world drop all that carbon emission like we've been doing here in the West for a considerable long time, is because this older infrastructure is here. Because our forefathers in industry had the forethought to develop a gas industry in this wealth of gas that British Columbia and Northern Alberta sit on, because they had that forethought, we have already prevented hundreds of billions of tons of carbon from going into the atmosphere. And now with LNG Canada, we're going to be able to extend that resource and the reach of that resource and the lowering of carbon emissions that resource enables. We're going to be able to extend that, basically to the world. So although the CEOs and VPs that should be accountable for telling this story feel they're above it, I feel it's an important story. So maybe I'll tell it for them. Just saying. Have a nice day.